morning, Guam, and thanks for starting your day the KUAM way. Starting lineup, this is my show, Group Chat. I'm Chris Barnett, and we're joined by Ed from the Micronesian Resource Center. Also, Action is from the Micronesian Resource Center, and Sergeant Paul Tapao. We're here to talk about keeping Micronesians healthy, right? So we're doing a 5K Saturday. Let's just get all the information out of the way real quick. So where do people go to register?
So our fourth annual One Healthy Micronesia is scheduled for August 10th at the Chamorro Village. Registration is not open yet. We'll put out word as soon as registration is available.
Action? You excited about this?
Oh, definitely. Anytime when it comes to the health of our people or Micronesia in general, I'm a big pusher for a one healthy Micronesia, especially when it comes to sports or anything related to physical activity, uniting the people, and most importantly, encouraging health within our people, because that's definitely something needed within our people. So yeah, definitely excited for that.
Nice. So this is the fourth annual, and every year have you seen the turnout and
yes,
and
I definitely. Every year it gets bigger and bigger, and this year we're hoping to cover all health aspects, from physical to nutrition to even community health. We're having a family fun day right after, so as soon as runners come back from the course, they'll refresh themselves with some light refreshments, and then we'll have family activities, games for the little ones that parents can engage with them. And then we're hoping for some health screenings also this year, just a bunch of healthy activities to encourage family health.
Right, and when you say light refreshments, that means no rice.
Right.
Pounded breadfruit.
Right.
Maybe.
Corn.
Right,
Where's
right.
the corn?
Pounded bread.
Sergeant Paul, let's talk about GBD's involvement. This is part of your community outreach efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. Micronesian Resource Center has been really gracious in accepting our partnership with the Guam Police Department, because when we actually were pushing forward with our community initiative, we can hit the people, the populace and everything. That wasn't a challenge. The challenge that we faced with the Guam Police Department was reaching out to our migrant families who are here, and we felt that we weren't hitting the mark. So the partnership really started with, I want to bring Vic Camacho to light to this, because when he first started the One Micronesia Healthy Run, which is the signature event, which culminates everything with the run that's coming up in August, I met Vic when he was overseeing Big Brothers Big Sisters and of course Micronesian Resource Center, and we connected about what the services that Micronesian Resource Center provides to the community, and it was an easy fix, it was an easy fit, and he introduced us to the guys, and we've been partners for almost 3 years.
Wow.
Going strong with the community events, and they've been really instrumental in assisting us with our endeavors with our outreaches, and these guys know wholeheartedly how we emphasize the sports and putting together the message about sportsmanship, unity, and understanding what the whole purpose of our outreach is. And one event that we did together, our first event, was the basketball tournament at the Gura Housing. I think we had over 100 some athletes within that compound, and these guys were really instrumental. The community members came out and they took part in something special, and they continued the drive, and we continued that partnership.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of media attention with the machete attack incident, and people are talking about how do we nip this in the bud. And Micronesian Resource Center, I mean, for years, you guys have been doing the outreach with sports, with assisting migrant families making the move to Guam, and I think this is it's really beneficial, and it really is a way to get them young. I mean, when you get the kids young, you teach them certain values, and they grow up with those values, and then you make it cool, you know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about the kind of work that MRC does, because I know I've touched base with the organization before, but I'm just playing catch up for somebody who's planning to move to Guam or has moved to Guam. How do you guys assist them, and what types of services do you offer?
So we provide informational and educational resources to families, newly arrived families, and even families that have been here for a while and probably need just a refresher. Those go through migrant orientation workshops, through word of mouth. We go out to the communities. We work with small families. We could do a workshop for small families, because we believe at least if we touch one family and they spread the word to their neighbors, then we can reach out to as many families as we can. So we use our mobile access to information van. That's our big office van
Right.
that we'll just drive up to your house. We'll pop up a easy up tent in your driveway, and we'll get this workshop done. And just so we could spread awareness of what it's like to live on Guam, or what the laws are on Guam, so that nobody has an excuse of, oh, I didn't know. That's mainly one of our bigger focuses. And then lately we've been moving towards a lot of youth mentoring because we are a division of Manyalu. Manyalu is formerly Big Brothers Big Sisters of Guam,
Right.
and they're heavy on youth mentoring. And we found that a lot of our services help the entire family. A lot of our services are catered to the adults in the family. But we've been focusing a lot on group youth mentoring. So we'll go out into the sites such as summer homes. Today we start our summer launch at Hemlani's in Harmon.
Right.
So we'll be there around 3 o'clock, and we're providing a migrant orientation workshop to the adults, and then Action, our youth specialist, will be providing games and activities for positive image building to the younger tenants and neighbors of
Right.
Vermont.
Let's talk about that. What is positive image building, and what kind of work do you do with these kids?
Well, with our Youth Nation, like I said, it's a lot of times just uniting the youth and having them come out and giving them, inspiring them and encouraging them and empowering them that just because they're from here or they're from that area or their family had this situation growing up doesn't mean they can't go after their dreams or they can't necessarily so they can't it doesn't mean that it can hold them back.
Yeah.
So
it's not a dead end.
Yeah, it's not a dead end. Definitely not a dead end. So I kind of try to relate to the kids a lot of the times when we're going out into the different villages that I work at, and it's a beautiful thing when you use sports. Like for me, I've always believed, like Sergeant Tapao said, the power of sports it's a beautiful thing, especially because it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Sports is like an international language.
It's a great
to me.
equalizer.
It definitely is, and that's what I use a lot of the times. And for the kids that don't necessarily play sports, I have arts and crafts, music. We'll have like volunteers who do music and come to our sites and work with the kids. And when I do ask for volunteers or volunteers to come out to volunteer with us, I just ask them to come with the right heart and make sure that they come ready to inspire, because these kids are the ones that don't get the opportunity that a lot of these kids at school or wherever they're at that don't get that opportunity.
Right.
So
Or that
I kind of try to
attention.
exactly.
Right, yeah.
So I just want to try to like help them, empower them, and encourage them and inspire them that it only takes one. So
Right.
you never know what will happen if you just continue to stay forth on that positive path.
Right,
so,
man, and so a lot of Chamorro families have the same problems with absence of a parental figure. So I got to commend you on the work you're doing. And I grew up without a dad, so I was always looking for that mentorship, and I know how key and how important it is, especially for these kids. I mean, you through no fault of the media, we report the news, but you turn on the news and they see faces like theirs. They see all these crazy crimes happening. They go out and people make stereotypes. I mean, it's no secret, right? I mean, so these kids are growing up kind of under the gun, and a lot of people make assumptions about migrants or other FSM communities that were born and raised here. So it's got to be really tough on those kids, and to see someone like you guys go down into places like Hemlani's and provide that positivity.
Yeah, definitely, and that was also the hard part. Is like a lot of groups like to wait for permission to enter areas, but a lot of times we like to step in just. Even if without the permission, we just go. We're just gonna go because we know we have great support in GPD, DOE to back us up. So that's why we have all the confidence just to go in without having to wait for permission from like our FSM consulate or anything like that. Because we're that kind of team. We don't want to wait. We just want to go, because if we don't go now, it might be too late before another incident happens.
Right.
So
These kids are really embedded with the community, and I want to share really an event that they hosted. And before that, I'm going to talk about crime in general, right?
Right.
And since we're talking about kids, right? I was approached and somebody had asked, a wise old man had asked, "Boy, you can't really fix the problem that is existing right now. it can only work at mitigating it. But what you need to do is take a scale back and work with the kids. And that hit, that really stuck on me, because if you can inspire change from the kids, if you can inspire young adults to understand that they can make a difference, you're on to something special. And brings us to what they did just in recent months. They held the youth forum at the University of Guam, and they invited 20 students, FSM, or not just FSM, but within the schools, 20 students from 6 high schools. And the common language there was empowerment. And at the end of the conference, these kids, these students, these young adults were walking out with a sense of pride, understanding that they're proud to be Micronesian, they're proud to be Chukis. I had a girl say, what, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna slap on that muumuu dress and I'm gonna wear it with pride. And it was that sense of pride. And as I watched the students exit and enter the bus, they were like, something was rejuvenated in them that, it was missing. And this is it right here. They provide that link in the community, instilling empowerment on these kids, because it really, it speaks volumes of what they can do, or what they have done, and what's showing now in the community. And it's a process that needs to work. It's a process where if we can teach the kids to inspire up, teach everybody in the household
Right.
that making better choices, it really come from the mentors and the providers who are out there in the community. So just from that conference, I was like all over. I was telling these guys, we got to do more.
Right.
We
Let's
gotta
do it
more.
tomorrow.
We got to continue the momentum,
Right.
and that's the only way you're going to find success. Is continue the momentum. And the superintendent, John Fernandez, was there, and he was like, "This is great."
Right.
What they had was a simple, really elegant forum that was really hit home
Sure.
about understanding who we are as Micronesian. And I was proud. I did a spill, and I was like, I'm proud to say I'm a Micronesian, because
Right.
where I'm from, I consider myself a Micronesian.
Right, yeah. And there's always that, you see it in the comments, oh, Chamorros are Micronesians too. Like, yeah, we are.
Yep.
I want to talk to you with the self-esteem issues. What are some of the things that the kids that you guys work with, when you get there, what kind of issues are they struggling with?
A major part of it would be probably they feel discriminated against.
Yeah.
Right.
Thinking, well, like myself, after reading the comments, I personally felt attacked, and I didn't even do anything. So you could just imagine someone younger how they would feel after hearing or reading comments that generalizes the entire population. But that's why we have events like the one Sergeant Tapao was speaking about, was our Micronesia Youth Forum, and we had students from every nationality. They weren't only Chukis, Pohnpei, we had Chamorros there.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this 5K that's coming up. It's to raise funds for our next one next year. And also leading up to our Micronesian Youth Forum, we plan to host service projects with the high schoolers, same participants, or even new participants that plan to attend the next forum. Host service projects with them every month, just to keep them going and keep them feel engaged and inspired until the big show at the end at the youth forum.
It's
Actually-
really empowering. I mean, it's sitting there and just taking in about hearing from the young adults about what they're facing, and I'm like, wow, this is great. And understanding, where we can help, where the Guam Police Department, where the community, where the entire island can come together. And if you haven't seen their shirt, man, it's dope, man. It's one Micronesia, and the one is specifically spelled out. And it really highlighted, just that
Extra
that one
large.
statement. That one statement in itself really highlighted the work and efforts in which the guys and the ladies of the Micronesian Resource Center is really all about, bringing positive change in the community and understanding where they can empower, not just the FSM community, but also our fellow Guamanians who may have a biased, track in not understanding, because, it really is going to have to take the culture to change and understand that we're all Pacific Islanders. And the beautiful thing about it, I'm going to use the word culture. We all have culture,
Right.
and we all have that sense of value and that sense of customs and belief, and that's where we can actually find a grassroots and actually connect everyone's culture so that we can all, fulfill that one Micronesia approach.
And it's growing pains. Anytime you have a cultural community, islanders, and then you have this westernization. People come to Guam, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, both parents are working. You have the kids being left alone in the house. It's a struggle, man. We've seen it with different migrant communities over the past. Palauans, Filipinos. There's always been that clash as these communities struggle and learn how to live on Guam. So that's actually I want to talk to you about the sports aspect. When you're obviously very popular in the sports community. When you get down, how does it feel to see how these kids to look at you and to know that you're like the messenger that could make a big difference?
He's a superstar.
Don't get your head too big now.
No. It's not it. No, it's not even close.
So many heads on
I
this
mean,
line.
I never think of it like that, but definitely like the platform that I have, I've been able to definitely I've been taught to use the platform you have to use it in a good way, and that's definitely something that I wanted to bring to Guam, especially because when we were talking about when we come to the villages, what I feel like the kids feel when they see us pulling up in our van or pulling up in their different housing areas, it's that sense of commitment like that. Not a lot of community outreaches are consistent and are engaging every week with those kids, and that's what I feel like. Props to all the agencies that come out, but I feel like what's missing is consistency, and that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like I'm always pushing, and our team is always pushing to make sure that we're there every week. Especially with our boss Samantha Titan, always encouraging us that we got to show up every week. It doesn't matter if it's a little drizzle, we're still going. You know? So that's why that's one thing that I feel like those kids really love what we do and believe in what we do is because of that consistency and the engagement we have with them. And that's what I feel like they don't have enough of. And that's why I feel like with the start of Hemalanis today, when I came up with the idea to bring it to Ed, he was like, "Let's do it every week. Let's do it." I was about twice a week. Let's do it. We have time. We can do twice a week. But that was definitely something that I wanted to encourage, was like make sure it's consistent. Cause,
because especially for kids.
Me as a kid, if I was to see someone come once a month or every 2 weeks, I kind of be like, I have to wait 2 weeks.
And you never know when they're going to need you.
Yeah. So that's why we really push to making sure that we're consistent with our workshops, our outreaches, whatever we do, we make sure it's consistent. And that's with the platform I have. That's something that I'm very thankful for. So I definitely, again, very grateful for the opportunity that I've been given on this platform. So
how does it feel when you guys get those results that you want, when you make that change in those young people or those adults?
Man, the feeling is it's always going to be a good feeling. It's super rewarding to be able to help somebody, no matter how small or big their issue is, just having them achieve what they need is very rewarding. And we're always looking for volunteers.
Yes.
Always looking for volunteers. If anyone has a gift they want to share or a skill they want to share, or they feel that they can always come out. Just give us a call, and they can always come out with us. And there's more kids than volunteers to go around. So we're always looking for anyone with a skill to share.
Right, and
I'm sorry, just to rehash what Ed was mentioning, the reward and everything. It's really all the hard work that you put in. These guys have been real instrumental in our fadeaway events and everything. And the last one we did was really special because we had the Guam men's national volleyball team facilitating the volleyball clinic alongside volleyball players from the Chukhammer.
Oh, I bet it got competitive.
Oh, yeah, it was just them understanding, the roles, and like what Action said, bring your heart, because this is what inspires. And these guys have ups, and the kids really were like, they looked at it and like, we're really getting first class treatment based on the caliber of coaches that they brought out to do the event. The financial supporters who helped with that, the uniforms, the medal. I think the highlight of that was the medals. And we had the volleyball team. We had the guys from the Chuk National Volleyball Association, and of course the Chuk Hammer, standing there and high-fiving the kids, and they stayed throughout the end. And I had to take a step back just to take everything in. And once they, they donned the medals, there was a look of accomplishment. They've accomplished something, and that's the reward that, I tell my staff, take a step back and just look at the work
Right.
that you've created, because it really is not going to be we're not going to self-indulge in what we did, but what we're going to do is really look at the seeds that were sowed and look at the product in the end, and that's
Right.
where we take that's where I get my satisfaction, is when the kids come on and, Sarge, thank you for the opportunity, thank you MRC for the and they hold that medal high because
Right.
they've accomplished something. And that, Chris, you can thank me all you want and everything, but just to see a kid walk away like that it's priceless.
Right.
It really is.
And then that's where the consistency comes in. I mean, if you plant that seed,
Yep.
nothing grows without water, so you
Yeah.
have to give it the sunlight, you give it
Exactly.
the water. And I feel like sports and music, it doesn't matter if you're red, yellow, purple, black, brown. I mean, these are things, let's get in there, let's play the song, let's play the game.
Yep.
Yeah. And, these guys, like I said, man, consistency, they're there every week. They're in different villages. The mayors have welcomed them too, open arms, with the job opportunities, that they provide, just as simple, how do I fill out an application? I think that is spot on,
Right.
And, we were working on a project, Hafide Welcome to Guam, where we talked about adapting your cultures and your customs with Western laws, what to expect. They provide that lessons. They provide the educational aspect of Western laws. Based on what we're seeing, we pull stuff out that is frequent with the FSM families, the crimes that are committed. How do we address that? This is the perfect vehicle with the Guam Police Department, because they're embedded with the community and they provide that message. So, man, there's a lot of stuff that these guys do that
Right.
I can only expound it. It's beneficial to the community. The mayors have welcomed them with open arms and providing the services to their constituents, with not just the FSM families, but also the Pillar Chamor families.
Right. Let's talk long-term goals. One thing I noticed as the discussion of migrants and the compact impact and the FSM community hits our talks over the last few years, is you have this community of migrants and Micronesians, so-called Micronesians, big community, really underrepresented in the government and pretty much all sectors of leadership on Guam. So long-term goals, I got to think that you want to inspire these kids to know that they could be the next Paul Tapao, or they could be a senator, or they could be a governor, because I think that's really the peer support and the work you guys are doing. I mean, it's awesome, it's amazing, but look at what woman governor Lulian Guerrero gave something for women to aspire to, or young girls to aspire to. I feel like that's something that would just be amazing. I mean, Senator Clint Rigel obviously is a great inspiration, but that's part of the long-term goal for you guys, right?
Definitely is to inspire these young kids to know that they can be the next whoever they want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
The next action.
They could be the next action, but there are a lot of students at the University of Guam, and even young Micronesian leaders in different
Clubs.
nonprofit organizations,
Right.
such as Nadine with the Humanities Guam.
That
She's
is
one of very
Special
Amazing
woman.
woman,
Yeah.
well spoken,
Right.
and a lot of other young Micronesian up and coming leaders. And we actually partner with Humanities Guahan to provide to learn from them, and also to help provide different services to different
Yeah.
families and different opportunities for them to inspire.
That presentation maybe made 60,000 views.
60,000.
Yeah, tons.
Beautiful.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I worked alongside her with the Micronesian Forum,
Yes.
the youth forum, and just the conversation I had with her, and how, she is, for her, she was really open. She goes, it's hard for her because she's a female
Yeah.
and everything. She still values custom. She still values tradition, but just the knowledge that she had, that she provided for the kids, was really inspiring, something to watch. And being present at that town hall meeting, when she spoke, she was the focal point of,
Right.
of what
Right.
a one Micronesia approach is all
Exactly.
about. And it was, man, I was truly inspired, and I applaud her courage, and I applaud her for standing up, and letting the community know that, hey, we have these services that are available to you. We have good. Let's work with the good.
Right.
Let's continue to have the consistency. Let's continue to keep empowering and inspiring, not just our young Micronesians, but our entire Micronesian families.
Right, totally agree. I mean, when you go back to the comments and people, where are the parents, where are the community leaders, and they don't know that you guys are doing the work, you know what I mean? That's what's annoying, is that you guys are out here, you're pounding the pavement. I mean, there's so many people who do these outreaches, who reach out to these kids, who reach out to these adults. So, I mean, you guys are trying, and it's to be commended. And I just don't like this idea that, oh, they're not doing anything and they aren't doing anything, when I know full well that, I mean, it's a daily struggle for you guys to get out there and do the work you do, which is why I think we need to promote it and let people know it's being done and let them know how to get involved. I mean, look at this conversation we're having, right? I mean, these town hall meetings are productive, but I feel like they're vent sessions where, we're still going to these things as separate groups, and I think the conversation needs to be Chamorros, migrants, FSM, Palaos, all sitting down and just speaking to each other.
Community meeting.
Right, yeah. Just speaking to each other, not at each other. Right. So.
Yeah, that's important, and I stress that when we highlighted the incident in Manila, dialogue, and Mayor Ngauter from Manila, he was spot on when he said we need to establish dialogue,
Right.
and conversation and everything. You can vent all your frustration, but in the end, we need to air where we can find solutions. Where are the services in which we can connect? Where are the providers that are going to be a part of the community, and how can we reach that? And that can't be achieved without dialogue. And
Right.
you're spot on. When we have this type of forum where it's a slew of different cultures, different ethnicity, but the dialogue has to be there, and understanding, bring positive every step that we take. Positive approach, positive solution, even the positive reaction to the negative, and that's where you're going to find and you're going to bring change in the community.
I mean, look at you guys, the partnership with Samantha. I mean, it can't just be FSM migrant communities working on FSM migrant community problems, because it's not just your problem; it's our problem. We all live on the same island, so
You guys
I
have
really.
some shout outs if you want.
Oh, we got some shout outs here.
You can tell he's touching the age.
Let's go read Roger's comment here. 1 of 4 look like at a healthy body fat ratio. The rest need to be challenged to a healthier lifestyle. 5K every weekend plus time with self.
I'll probably do
I wonder
it
who
every
he's
Probably
talking
other
about.
arm wrestling
weekend.
action for that. Roger, I got you.
Hey, I'm big boned. I'm big boned.
I'm husky.
Right.
The Chamorros, they call us Robos.
So Roger wants to see you out there running and hustling. Hey, don't challenge Sergeant Tapao. He's a go-getter, man. So they want us to be healthy, so we can be around for a long time. Take care from the ADIO Cairo staff. We've also got Eddie Boy Wengu. You got the hands up emoji. Debbie Davis, longtime commenter, chimes in from Bardstown, Kentucky. So I guess in closing, let's go ahead and pump that 5K, and then you guys are doing the outreach today at Hemlani, 3 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
So again, our One Healthy Micronesia is scheduled for August 10th at the Chamorro Village. Showtime is 5 o'clock. Go time is 6 o'clock, with family fun day activities to follow the race.
Right, and so we'll get you guys on closer to the race, because I know people, August 10th, that's like 5 years from now.
Forget.
But in between that, you guys are doing a lot of things. Like I know you guys were talking about the kickball.
Yeah, we've teamed up with Maniello and MRC in helping us with our kickball tournament. It's small scale. We're catering to the kids, giving them some summer approach, summer activities, and it's going to be in July, I believe, the week before Liberation. Toto Gardens, everybody's welcome to come and cheer on their favorite team. The kids have been coming out, practicing. I have to work on my strike.
You got to
I'm
work
going to
on it.
practice.
I got to work in that, Roger.
I'm going to
Yeah,
practice
it's
on
hard.
Thursday.
We're not all
Roger.
actions over here.
No, don't even say that. Like,
And,
oh my God.
and
that's
you know,
hard. It's
speaking
hard.
of physical activity, Ed and I are avid paddlers, so we're going to be reaching out with them, and we're going to do a mentorship paddling. Again, we're going to use sports, and Bob Salas from LMS Guam has been really pushing for this, and he has like 3 boats, and I want to say he employs over 95% FSM families, pillar
Right.
families in the community,
Right.
and we're going to take the concept of mentoring young adults through paddling. If nobody has ever paddled, it's grueling, it's exhausting, it messes with your mind, but we're going to be working mentoring young adults. These are the students in high school. 6 weeks, we're going to come out and we're going to do this event with Bob Salas and the paddling families.
Nice.
That
This is the good paddling. The only paddling I knew as a kid was that one. So
yeah, but that's forthcoming. So in line with sports and in line with United the Communities are some of the events in which we're partnering up, and this is where we're going to tackle all the issues through mentorship and of course sports and how we're going to utilize
guys,
it.
you reach the youth, social media. Do you guys have a presence on social media, maybe a
Yes.
Facebook page or?
We can follow us on our Instagram page at mrcoss.guam, mrcoss.guam.
Okay.
And then we're also on Facebook at the Micronesian Resource Center.
Well, there you go. Okay, hey man, we went kind of long, but very important subject matter this morning for Ed, Action, and Sergeant Paul Tapao. My name's Chris. Thanks so much for watching the group chat. Adjo!